Would you spend $1,400 on yarn? Let me clarify. $1,400 on a box of yarn. Well, I did. And I don't say that to brag. This is a purchase that took a decent amount of saving before I was able to make that. Since I've been talking about this particular yarn and sweater that I've been making using this expensive yarn though, I've had a lot of people feel like they are allowed to tell me that I should not have made this purchase, that I could be paying for somebody's rent for this purchase, or that I could be paying for groceries for somebody else with this purchase. To be clear, I am relatively involved in my community. I try to help out with different events that are going around my community. I purchase food for homeless people a decent amount of the time when I see them in the mornings, especially at work. And I help people who I know who are homeless in my regular life. Not that I need to justify anything. However, I have a few points that I'd like to make, and this is going to be a slightly longish video, so feel free to fast forward if you'd like. Point 1. I'm not rich. I am part of middle-class America. I have a job in STEM. I am a scientist. I work about 45 to 50 hours a week. I understand the sentiments of somebody who is going to see the purchase of a very expensive yarn and get rather upset by that, but I do think that that anger and frustration should be turned towards billionaires. I'm not somebody who makes enough money to purchase 5 houses, 3 super yachts, 40 cars, and 2 private jets. I pay my taxes on my middle-class salary. I'm not a billionaire who doesn't pay any taxes. Point number 2. One of the reasons this particular type of yarn is so expensive, this is called Kivyu yarn, is because it can only be harvested by hand from the particular type of animal that it's harvested from, a muskox. After it's collected by hand, it then has to be spun by hand into yarn, and then it has to be, well, prior to that, it has to be cleaned, dyed, and then you spin it by hand into yarn. There is a lot of labor that goes into producing a yarn of this type. It is not really done on a large mass scale. This comes from a small family farm. Windy Valley Muskox, check them out. Third, I'm very into fashion. I love fashion. I love wearing quality garments and pieces. I would not be able to afford a sweater made out of this material, or frankly from one like cashmere at a certain level, when it's already pre-made. So I taught myself to knit so that I could make my own items out of quality material. Save this energy for billionaires